To Off the Cuff with Sir Marcus Scott hosting on WJZZ Cool TV. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have a very exciting show for you tonight, very informative. A friend of mine, he's an author, playwright, director, Mr. Robert L. Douglas. How you doing, Robert?
I'm good. How are you
I'm good,
this
man.
evening, Mark?
Absolutely.
Glad to be here with you.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you showing me some love on the show. Appreciate
Thanks
that.
for inviting me.
No, my pleasure. Um, we met
Hmm.
a few years back, and by chance,
Hmm.
kind of surprised me. You remember that?
Um,
You made me read.
right. That was for a play,
That
right?
was for a play.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
The first time I had ever read anything.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't expect you to say, yeah, okay, come on, let's do this.
Right.
Yeah.
I make everybody read. When I hear you read the script, and I know if you're suitable for the part.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I want people to understand what motivated you to be doing what you're doing anyway. I mean, just from day one. Was there? You watch a lot of movies when you were growing up, or?
It was divine providence. I went to Tennessee State University,
Mhm.
and I was a theater major. And I became a theater major just by chance because I got in the group that was going to, at that time it was called Speech and Drama.
Mhm.
And that's why I ended up in the drama department by chance. I
Mhm.
was in the group with going to sociology, and I was thinking I really don't want to do sociology. So I got on a smaller group, not knowing where they were going, and it ended up to be speech and drama.
Uh-huh.
Uh, that's what got me into theater, so I have a degree in theater.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at your bio, and it's extensive. For somebody who doesn't have a lot to talk about.
Okay.
So I found it intriguing. I was were you going in as an actor, or was just arbitrary? Was just you
To
just
to be an actor, yeah.
to be an actor?
Yeah, I'd done a couple of musicals in high school,
Hmm.
and I felt like I could act, and I thought I was pretty good at it, and
Hmm.
I was able to do a number of different plays
Hmm.
in school and in the Nashville community.
Hmm.
Yeah, so acting was my thing. I got into writing by chance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there what is the aspect of the difference between being a writer, knowing the characters,
Hmm.
laying them out, as opposed to an actor learning a character?
Well, the author, the writer is all the playwright has already um, decided who the character is,
Mm-hmm.
and what the actor has to do is interpret what the writer has is put on the page in the script. The writer develops the character. The writer sees who the character is. The writer determines how that character interacts with others. Uh, the writer develops the character.
Mm-hmm.
The actor has to interpret what the writer wrote, as well as the director. The director interprets it, and the actor interprets it. And what you get is uh, what they see that the writer has done. So you've got these three elements: the writer, the producer, the director, and the actor interpretation of that character on the stage or on film.
Okay. Because
Mhm.
that was going to be my next question about
Okay.
the director.
Okay.
And that role.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've always been intrigued by it. I always felt like I could do some acting,
Mm-hmm.
with some training. Always found that I think when we perform, we do a certain level of acting
Mm-hmm.
on the stage.
Mm-hmm. Like with any profession, the training is always good because even with acting, especially with acting, there are basic fundamentals. And once you learn and know those basic fundamentals, uh, then you act like a professional. down, then you perform uh, with your gifts like a professional.
Mhm. So for some of the younger people who might be aspiring to get into acting,
Hmm.
what would be, say, maybe one or two, maybe three of those basic fundamentals that you're talking about?
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
Mhm.
If you're doing the stage, you need to understand the stage. You need to understand how to take directions on the stage. You need to know how to understand that what you've got is a picture that's framed,
Mhm.
and and the audience needs to be able to see everything and understand everything that's going on the stage. So once you learn those fundamentals, the stage positions, the acting areas, um, the techniques of acting, of
Mhm.
expression, to project, uh, enunciation, articulation, empathy, gestures. Once you learn all those techniques and incorporate them with your gifts, so many people are gifted enough to just get on stage and make it work.
Mhm.
But once you add those basics, you take it to a different level.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
All
and
right.
that's what you want to be able to do, to take it to its highest level.
Okay.
Um, and that's what you get. You can come in with your gifts all day and get by and do well.
Mhm.
But if you've got the fundamentals, you take it to the next level.
Okay. Okay. So being able to speak and to project. Now this is stage,
Right,
right?
right,
Now what's when you start doing film, it's mic, right?
right, right. It's a whole different thing when it's mic.
Okay.
Um, and it's also a different thing on the stage. You have to keep in mind that you've got a fourth wall that you shouldn't break. On film, that doesn't matter because someone else is taking the shot. So it doesn't matter how you follow the directions, of
Mhm.
course.
Of course.
But you're not worried about that fourth wall. You're not worried about blocking other people on the set, on the stage. So it's completely different. With film, you can get much more expression uh, without uh, having to have as many words, so to speak. On film, you can be expressive. You can be expressive on stage, but a lot of times the script needs to be able to explain and through the dialogue what's actually happening, and express the feelings of the actor.
Okay. So when did you write your first play?
I wrote a one-act play to submit to a competition in the late 80s. No, excuse me, late 70s.
Mhm.
And it won second place. And they told me it would have won first place had I actually gone to the competition. I just submitted the script. I didn't actually go myself.
Oh.
I got here, and I was working at Oakland University, and I did a talent show. And I had these ideas and these themes that I wanted to do in the talent show, and I did them. It turned out very well.
Mhm.
There was an immense amount of talent at Oakland University at
Oh,
town.
yeah.
An immense amount of talent. And
California.
no, Oakland University
Oh,
in
here.
Rochester, in Rochester.
Oh, okay.
Michigan.
Right here.
You're right.
Yeah,
Oakland
okay.
University
Oh,
up the
okay.
road there.
All right.
An immense amount of talent there, and we did the talent show, and then they called me in the next year and told me that it was for Black History Month. They told me they didn't want me to do the talent show because I wouldn't let everybody be in it. And so I said, okay, I already had that themes that I wanted to do for that year's talent show. And so I just wrote it into a series of one-act plays, had some of the kids write some original music, and some other kids choreograph dances, and just put it all together in one show. That was my first play. And there was a song that was written by a student there. His name was Chris Knight, and it was called Child's Play. And the choreography was beautiful, and I was standing in the wings watching the dance and listening to the music. And there was a young violinist in school at the time. Her name was Regina Carter,
Oh.
and she was playing the solo, and the girl was dancing the solo, and it was an epiphany to me. It was like, wow, this is beautiful. I should do this all the time. And of course, Regina Carter now is one of the most renowned violinists in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first play. And then the young man who wrote my music, Chris Knight, came to me the next year and said, I've written a song that I think would be a good play, and that was Family Love. So I wrote that play from the song that he had written.
Mm-hmm.
That was our second play, and that one had a lot of success. That we were able to do that for a number of years.
Okay.
And that was the first play I was able to take into the music hall.
Okay. And that's where you performed it, at the music hall.
Right. Later, but we first did it in Oakland.
Okay.
And then we did it a number of times around different, like in Lansing, Illinois. We just, kept doing it over and over again.
Sure.
People really liked it.
Yeah. It's a lot of talent in this area.
A lot of talent, immense amount of talent.
Oh man,
Love it.
I'm finding that out.
Yeah, it's a gold mine.
What we like to do here is
Diamond mine of talent.
Huh?
It's a diamond mine of talent.
Oh, without a doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt, man, and has yet to be fully tapped.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been something that I've wanted to do, is to kind of like galvanize it
Mm-hmm.
and bring it together.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, a lot of times people in the community, they don't really know that talent is there,
Mm-hmm.
and we go other places to get it,
Right.
and it's right here,
Right here.
and then high level too, high
Mhm.
level, in a lot of genres, dance, theater, musicians, singers, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so that was good. It intrigued me about you. I've been wanting to get you on the show
Okay.
for a while. We started this in December.
Right. Okay.
Hmm. And I've been doing a lot of singers and stuff.
Right.
But I want to do dancers and theater
Right.
and make people more aware of that,
Okay.
Um,
We need that. We need that type of exposure.
yeah,
Especially in Detroit.
yeah. And WJZZ Cool TV is a perfect platform
is.
to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really fortunate to be able to offer this up to people. So you did your play, your first play, and it was a success.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't act in that. You directed that.
I directed that, right. Well, no, actually, I did act in Family Love. I played the grandfather
Uh-huh.
in Family Love. I did act in that. I forgot that I had done that. So I played the grandfather in that until we did it at the music hall.
Okay.
And the late Roger E. Mosley
Okay.
played the grandfather when we did it at the music hall, and I just directed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So multitasking in your work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Then I was the only one I could find to do grandfather the way I wanted it to be done.
Well,
So,
okay. All right.
yeah. And I think I did one more of my original plays that I acted in. Yeah, that was pretty much it. For the most part, I was directing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's interesting. Very interesting. I'm looking at some of the things that you did. I'm looking at NBC. Wow.
Well, that was, which one was that, NBC?
Sister.
Oh, yeah.
With
That
Maya.
Was, yeah, that
Angela?
that was in the 70s before I moved to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I was performing with Dr. Bobby Jones and New Life Singers in Nashville.
Hold that thought. We're
Okay.
gonna come back to that. Yeah, I want to hear
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
We're gonna do a station ID right now.
Okay.
So you're watching Off the Cuff with Mark Scott, and this is WJZZ Cool TV, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, well X. It's not Twitter anymore, it's X.
Right.
Twitch and all top social media platforms. So like us, join us, leave a comment. We want to hear what you think. If you got any questions for Robert, you can call us at 313-355-6018. That's 313-355-6018. If you have any questions on what you need to know to get into plays and acting and directing, if you want to produce or whatever, this is the man you need to talk to. This is the man that can tell you exactly what you need to know to get started for you young aspiring directors. So thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. I love saying that. So, yeah, go ahead and tell me about this NBC TV, an extra. You were an extra in
I
the
was
movie?
just trying to get out there, do some acting. Um, the NBC, it was actually a movie that was written and produced and directed by Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was performing with Bobby Jones, and I was doing like little vignettes and had little dances and things, performing with Bobby Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out to L.A. Maya brought us out to L.A. to sing for, I forget what it was now, but I forget exactly what that was about. There were a number of people there we performed for in L.A. And then she told us she would like to have us in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie came in, she shot the movie in winter of like January, February 1980 in Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
And we starred Diane Carroll, Rosalind Cash, Dick Anthony Williams, Paul Winfield, and a very young Irene Cara.
Oh, yeah.
And we were basically a part of the church choir at Old Ship Amy Zion Church in Montgomery, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And it premiered on NBC.
Okay.
Sister.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Yeah.
And that was a rich opportunity, a rich experience.
Mm-hmm.
Being in the presence of Maya Angelou was probably one of the most richest experiences I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably the most awesome person I've ever been in the presence of. Rich.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Right.
Yeah, historic moment.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, and I'm looking at this, man. You got a number of credits down here. Tell me about this, the last meeting of the night of the White Magnolia.
Okay, that was with Theater Nashville, and that was a local company that did professional theater in Nashville. And it was an interesting play because it was about a group that, like the Ku Klux Klan.
Uh-huh.
And I was the only black in the play. I got a picture of myself in that play. We're not on that.
We are.
Oh, we are. Caught me off guard up in the back of my body. But I was...
I was like, okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah. I played an old janitor in the show in Nashville, for Theater Nashville.
Uh-huh.
I did a few plays for Theater Nashville, but that was the first one I did, and it was real interesting. Working with an all-white cast. That was the first time I ever worked with an all-white cast,
Uh-huh.
and it was a pretty good show. And the next time I think I did with Theater Nashville was King Lear.
I was just about to ask you about
Shakespeare.
the Earl of Kent.
The Earl of Kent.
Kent and King Lear.
And King Lear.
That was the role you played?
Yeah, I played the Earl of Kent.
Okay.
And King Lear.
Was that a play or
It was a play.
A theater?
It's a Shakespearean play.
Okay, yeah. Right.
One of his tragedies.
No, okay. King Lear.
Right. And the next one I did of part of the cast, singer and dancer, and Kurt, which
Okay.
is a musical person of Kurt.
Yeah, singing, dance, and Pearly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, I saw this, man. I was like, wow. I don't have much to talk about.
I don't.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate the modesty. Um, but I'm looking at this, the tragedy of Martin Luther King Jr. with Oprah Winfrey.
Right. Well, everybody knows Oprah went to school at Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm.
And we took a couple of classes together, and we did a play together. That was maybe 2 or 3 years after Dr. King was assassinated. Um, there was a young man on Broadway who had graduated from Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Wjzz, and he had written this play, Zeitgeist, the tragedy of Martin Luther King,
Mm-hmm.
and we did that play on campus. And overplayed Coretta Scott King,
Oh, okay.
and another man named Alonzo Ward played Dr. King, and I was the narrator. I opened the show, kept the show through the transitions, and closed the show
Okay.
as the narrator.
Mm-hmm.
That was so we took a couple classes together. We knew each other at school.
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, that was a good. And we did that at Tennessee State as well. That was a really good mystery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had a variety of different roles.
I'm looking. Randall P. McMurphy. Is that a role you played?
Yeah, yeah. If you're familiar with the movie, that's the role that
One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, that Jack Nicholson played.
Right, okay.
R.P. McMurphy. Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. And I did that with. It was another semi-professional company in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the company.
Well, wow. I see the Family Love.
Mhm.
That's the one you talked about. You played
Right.
the Grandpa Baker.
Right.
And Mr. Jenkins and Ceremonies in Dark Old Men.
Another.
Tell me about that one.
That was a good black play. Didn't go written by, but it's a black play.
Mm-hmm.
Written in the '60s, maybe even '50s. But we did that in school. We had a very strong theater department at Tennessee State. Top-notch theater department. Probably the best known person out of that department was Moses Gunn, who did a lot on Broadway and in film and on TV.
Mm-hmm.
We had a very rich, strong theater department there, and so we did some quality work.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to maintain the quality every time I do a show.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're highly regarded with the people that I know,
Okay.
like Mr. Watkins,
Okay.
Hassan Watkins. But I'm looking at this. You studied under Dury Cox.
W. Dewey Cox, he was probably one of the premier black technical directors and set designers on the college level throughout his career, 60s and 70s, 80s, at Tennessee State.
Mhm.
Very well known in academic circles, theater.
PhD in drama.
That was Dr. Poe.
Okay.
Dr. Poe.
Oh, yeah.
Dr.
Thomas E. Poe.
Poe was the first black PhD in drama and theater.
And that was at
And-
Tennessee State as well.
Yeah, he was the dean of the arts and sciences and over the department, theater department, when I was in school. When I had the pleasure of being directed by him and learning at the
Sure.
foot of a master.
Sure.
Both of those guys, W. Dewey Cox and Thomas E. Poe, were masters.
Yeah. And you studied under them.
Right. I studied.
It's always good to have some pros,
Right.
man. Always
Right.
good to have some pros. and Bobby Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is, I was impressed.
Okay.
I saw this, and I already knew that you had done some things,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which is the reason I'm intrigued to bring you in here. I've been trying to do it for a while. But, so what do you want to do now?
I want to have screenplays that I've written and have writing produced and streamed. I want to get on Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max.
Hulu.
I want, yeah, Hulu,
Yeah.
Tubi.
Tubi.
I want to get on all those with
Face,
screenplay and
YouTube for all
yeah,
that matters.
YouTube absolutely. On YouTube.
Turn it into a real network.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
not just a social media thing
right.
anymore.
BET. You know.
Yeah.
So I just recently started. Well, let me back that up. I wrote a screenplay several years ago about Dr. Ossian Sweet and
About who?
Dr. Ossian Sweet.
Who is that?
Okay, Dr. Sweet was a doctor here in Detroit in the
Mhm.
1920s, and he bought a home on the corner of Garland and Charlottesville on the east side in 1925. And when he moved into the home, a mob of white residents, once they found out he was moving into the neighborhood, they formed the Waterworks Improvement Association and tried to keep him from moving in. But he moved in anyway. And when he moved in, he brought in his two brothers, 7 friends, with his wife, and they moved in, I think the 8th of September. And the mob was maybe 500 or 600 people on that corner. And if you've been on that corner, it's a very big corner, it's a very small corner. And they threw rocks and bottles at the house and taunted them all night. And the next night, when it got to be dark in the evening, the mob came in. His brother and one of his friends came in by cab. They got out, people started throwing rocks and bricks at them as they were running into the house. And someone in the house fired a gun from upstairs into the crowd, killed one white man and wounded another. And they were arrested. Police came and arrested everybody in the house, took them to jail. Just none of the mob on the street. And charged them all with murder. The NAACP got involved and brought in attorney Clarence Darrow, who at the time was probably the biggest lawyer in the United States. He had just tried the Scopes trial in Tennessee. They called it the monkey trial. They made a movie about that called Inherit the Wind. And he had tried the Leopold case in Chicago. So he was like he was like the biggest lawyer. And he came in and defended the Sweets. And which was interesting when I was doing the research. The judge of that case was Frank Murphy, who later became the governor and the Supreme Court justice in the courthouse named after him downtown. And James Weldon Johnson got involved in NAACP. And so you got all these rich characters involved. They were found not guilty. They dropped charges on most of them, and then the last few charges were found not guilty. And I thought that was a very rich and intriguing story, so I wrote a screenplay about it. Still would like to get it produced. Hopefully somebody will hear this and say, oh, that's a good idea. Let's produce that.
It sounds like something relevant to today.
It is relevant today because it deals with housing. It deals with stand your ground, as they so to speak.
Sure.
You know, it's been in the news a lot lately. Stand your ground laws, housing discrimination, and you got your characters like Judge Weldon Johnson, of course, Dr. Sweet himself, and Clarence Darrow, who's already had a movie made about it. You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's still a rich script. It needs to be produced. If anybody out there wants to invest in producing that script, I'm still shopping it around.
All right.
So that was my first script, that was the first play. I'm not, excuse me, screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully someone will pick that up.
Yeah, that's a good, intriguing. I was watching Shaka Zulu
Zulu, right. Hmm.
earlier today.
Okay.
The first time I had seen the episode,
Hmm.
little series that they got
Mhm.
on him. And so I think educating our young people about our American history
Right.
is critical.
It is extremely critical, especially at this point in time when their force is trying to erase our history, or prevent us from learning our history, prevent all children from learning our history.
Mm-hmm.
And there are reasons for that, but we won't get into that.
Right, right.
But it's important to present our history because it's very positive, it's very rich, and it exemplifies and shows the strength that we have.
Yeah.
Because we've always had to fight against oppression, discrimination, and every tactic to hold us down that they could think of.
Yeah.
So we don't. We need to be forceful in making sure our history is represented.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, look, we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
You want to come
Let
back?
me know when we come back on.
I'm going to get another station ID. So you're watching Off the Cuff. I'm your host, Mark Scott. My guest tonight is Robert L. Douglas, playwright, director, author, just an all-around an actor. He didn't have actor on here, but the actor too. So you're watching Off the Cuff on Wjzz Cool TV. So streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X, and all top social media platforms. So like us, join us, leave a comment, call in, and subscribe. Absolutely subscribe. We have a lot of interesting people that the community, and particularly you aspiring artists, need to know, and in your community, right here in Detroit. So thank you for watching WJCZ, Cool TV, Off the Cuff with Sir Marcus Scott. The coolest station in the world, WJCZ, Cool TV. So, you were telling me about a play that you just finished,
Screenplay.
a screenplay?
Are we back on here?
We are.
You gotta let me know.
We never go off.
Okay.
We never go off until we are.
Okay.
It's not like a commercial comes in.
Okay.
And you can't see it. We're live. If you
Okay.
say something, they're gonna hear it.
Okay.
You always can talk to the audience.
Okay.
But you were telling me about a play that when we were coming in.
Yeah, a screenplay that I just adapted to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
The concept for the play, the story, was comes from Johnny Washington, a local entrepreneur and producer here in Detroit. We had attempted to do that as a play several years ago, but there were a number of factors that kept us from actually going through with it. And I thought the story was good enough to adapt it to a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just finished it like last week, the week before last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and shipped it right off to copyright and registered with the Writers Guild.
Okay.
So it's ready to pitch to producers. That was actually I've done. That would make my fourth screenplay that I've written. I've written 3 over the last year.
Mm-hmm.
One for hire for a woman who's in the film industry. And I wrote my first outside after the Sweet screenplay called Diamond. Excuse me, from a story that I had for a play. I started it based on a character that actual person, a troubled young lady who was an excellent writer. And I started writing the play, and I couldn't finish it. And then when I realized that there was a major indie film industry, a black indie film industry in Detroit, I said, well, let me try my hand at that.
Sure.
And I took that, instead of finishing it as a play, I finished it as a screenplay. And it's called Diamond.
Okay, no, you educate me.
Diamond?
No, what's the difference between a play and a screenplay?
The play goes on the stage, the screenplay becomes a movie.
Movie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
A teleplay becomes a television show
Okay.
of episodic television.
Okay. So now you said Diamond. Go ahead.
Okay, Diamond was just about this girl. It's I noticed like the movies that you're producing here has a lot of black culture, so to speak. Specifically, dramas that deal with certain segments of our
Society.
black community.
Right.
And there are so many stories that could be told from our culture and our community.
Sure.
And Diamond is just one of them that I think fits the genre. It's just a story that hasn't been told, touching on, at least I haven't seen. I watch a lot of TV, and I enjoy it, and I think the quality is steadily on the rise.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of stories being told, and I think Diamond is a story that needs to be told, should be told. It's highly relevant, especially today in Detroit, and but I haven't seen it yet, and so I'm anxious to get it out there because it's subject matter that hasn't been tapped into yet, and I don't really want to talk about that.
No, right.
Because I don't want anybody. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I get you. I
Rush
get
something out there who's already in.
I get you.
It's already in the industry. I'm trying to get into the industry.
So, what is this Wilma?
Wilma was just another one. I was just an extra on in that. That was a movie that was shot in Nashville about Wilma Rudolph,
Okay.
who was a world famous Olympic track star in the 50s and early 60s. She went to Tennessee State. And
Alumni.
Okay.
Okay.
She won like 3 gold medals in the 1960
Yeah.
Olympics.
Yeah. I remember watching the.
Yeah. And they did a movie about her and shot it in Nashville. So I was just an extra on the set. Yeah. Of that, trying to get my foot in the door.
Yeah. You were in college at that time, right?
I believe so. Yeah. After times get kind of fuzzy
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
The actual years. But yeah, I think Denzel Washington was in there too before he became Denzel Washington.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, do you have a website?
No.
You don't have a website. So if somebody wanted to, say, get one of your screenplays, how would they go about doing that? How would they contact you?
That's a good question. Can I advertise?
You're doing it now?
Yeah, just contact me. I am on Facebook.
Okay.
Message me on Facebook, Robert L. Douglas. That would probably be the easiest way to get a message to me. People have contacted me that way.
Okay. Email address?
RLDOUGLV@AOL.com, my original email from back in the day. Let me repeat that.
Yeah, you do that. You do that.
OUGLV as in Victor @AOL.com. So they can email me and they could message me on Facebook.
I'm going to have you repeat that one time before we go off the air.
Okay.
because
Okay.
I want to make sure
Okay.
that that if someone is interested in some work, that this incredible, very talented, humble uh, director. I've seen some of his work, and I've seen him work, and I'm telling you, this is an opportunity
Mhm.
that shouldn't be missed right now. I mean, this is I'm loving that I'm able to do this.
Mhm.
I really am because, like you were talking about, the talent in this city, uh, directors,
Mhm.
playwrights,
Right.
and there are a lot of them. And your experience
Mhm.
um, can't be measured. You know, it just can't be measured. So I'm proud to have you with us tonight. So we're going to repeat that information
Okay.
because I want to make sure that they. And your Facebook page is what now?
Robert L. Douglas.
So you just
Yeah.
search Robert L.
Robert L.
Douglas,
Douglas on Facebook.
and
Yeah.
it'll come up. All
Exactly.
right. So, you know, that's I'm going to be shooting that.
Okay. Appreciate it.
I'm going to be pulling that out and shooting it across my network. So.
Trying to get me a website too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to do that. I'm gonna talk about you on my website
Okay. Appreciate it.
and give that link
Mhm.
to your Facebook page.
Okay.
We're gonna put that on KJEntertainment.com,
Okay. Appreciate it.
the KJ Entertainment LLC, and then shoot it to some people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so you can get to Robert through KJ if it's okay with you.
It's fine.
Through KJ Entertainment, we're gonna put something on that page and give you a link to where you can contact him through your email address,
Mhm.
and then it'll go straight to you.
Right.
And then we just want to help like that if we can, and then do some other things that we're gonna be
Okay.
trying to do also.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna do another station ID, and then we're gonna come back to Robert L. Douglas, playwright, author, actor, director, um, it's all around our uh, with us tonight on Off the Cuff on WJZZ Cool TV, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, X, I keep getting that, X, and all top social media platforms. So like us, share, comment, and definitely subscribe to WJZZ Cool TV, where you can see all of the interviews that we do with talented and aspiring people in the city of Detroit and all around. Anything that having to do with entertainment, we're going to try to address it. So thank you for watching on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Now, wow, you give lessons? Do you
It-
teach? I saw something here that said you teach.
I work at Open University for a number of years. But if I have done some acting, coaching, and acting classes. I used to have a summer camp where we taught theater to young people. That was several years ago, many years ago now. But yeah, I did some acting, coaching. Uh, that's how I found out about the rich movie scene here in Detroit. Young man who I gave his first acting job in one of my plays, Family Love. Actually, he was in Family Love that we did
Okay.
at the Paul Robeson Theater back in the early 2000s, and he's in the industry, the steady working actor now. He came in town to do a movie. He called me up and said, would I be his coach? And I coached him and several other the actors in that movie that came out I think last year. And so yeah, I'm available to do some acting coaching.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. Yeah, I need some natural coaching.
Okay.
I need some training.
Didn't you do, uh, who was that, Jerome Bonnie's book that I converted to a stage play, something about the rainbow?
The play that I read for?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. I learned a lot.
yeah,
I really did. I learned a lot. That was my first, man, I was really honored
right,
that you would even put me in it,
right,
first time out.
yeah,
But yeah, and you walked me through
yeah,
what I was doing and
right,
told me what to do, and I was able to deliver a little bit of that.
yeah,
I learned a lot.
yeah.
I really did. That was an honor. I really appreciate you letting me do that. And then what's the name of that movie? I mean that play.
I forget.
Something about the
Other
rainbow?
Side of the Rainbow.
Other Side of the
It was
Rainbow.
a book of poetry that was written by a local attorney, Jerome Barney, and he wanted it converted to a stage play,
Mhm.
and I was able to do that for him. He converted the poetry in that book of his book of poems
That's right.
into a stage play.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know,
Yeah,
we had dancing and singing.
Yeah.
And acting out of the poems.
Mhm. Man, I
And we
stayed.
did that at the Paul Robeson.
I stayed up all night studying for the cues and
Yeah.
and when to come in and when to all of that. Yeah, that was very.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. Before we I'm looking at this, the legacy of black preachers in Detroit.
Okay, that was, I love that play. That was, I don't know if you remember uh, Detroit 300, when Detroit celebrated its 300th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I was involved in, I wrote that play to celebrate the anniversary of Detroit founding
Mm-hmm.
in 2001. And I collaborated with Deborah White Hunt of the Detroit Windsor Dance Academy, who did the choreography for that. And we did that show at Repertory Theater of Hope that spring. We did excerpts from it at Shane Park that summer, and then we did the play again that fall as a part of celebrating the year-long celebration of Detroit's founding in 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was a musical. All my plays have been musical dramas, so
Mm-hmm.
it's all a lot of music, some dancing. That particular show had dancing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah did some outstanding. Her team did some outstanding choreography for that show. And it's still relevant. It was about the history of black preachers. The first black preacher, first black church in Detroit, Second Ebenezer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Second Baptist, not
Second-
Second Ebenezer.
okay.
Second Baptist, St. Matthew's, Bethel, Bethel AME, and then the history of those preachers at the time, William Monroe, we covered, they just passed from Hartford. We covered preachers from different, the history of black preachers in Detroit.
In Detroit, right.
Yeah, so we started with Monroe all the way through to some of the preachers of today, and highlighted them in 3 different stages of that play. And that was a good one.
Yeah. So, on Facebook, it's Robert L. Douglas.
Right,
On Facebook.
right.
And your email address again?
RLDOUGLV@AOL.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you got it. You can play this interview back and get all that information again.
Mhm.
It'll be streamed live, rebroadcast on Facebook and YouTube. So that concludes our show for today.
Okay.
We got Mr. Robert L. Douglas, author, playwright, director, and a good
I
friend of
was
mine.
going to mention Sam Cooke, but
Well, you know, we didn't get to it, and you know, but
Out
he,
of time.
yeah. But go ahead,
well,
real quick.
we did this play about Sam Cooke in 2010 at the Music Hall. Johnny Washington was the producer, and that was a really rich show. We run into some little conflict with the company that owns all of his music.
Mhm.
But that was another rich experience.
Yeah, yeah. So the man has done a lot for somebody who doesn't have much to talk about. I was just really put out there. But yeah, we run out of time. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate you coming through.
My pleasure.
You've been watching Off the Cuff on WJZZ Cool TV. I'm your host, Mark Scott, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 to 8 p.m.